It's the morning drive. Now, this morning, something that potentially impacts millions of residents and hundreds of businesses across the UAE, maybe more, with the upcoming Eid al-Fitr holiday period. Airfares from the UAE have nearly doubled compared with earlier in the year. In many cases, lots of popular international routes are now significantly more expensive than last Eid season. Demand, of course, is surging. Emily Jenkins is a travel expert. She's the head of product and digital solutions at DW Travel. She's with me to break down what's driving the price increases and what travellers and the travel industry are navigating at the moment. It's a very dramatic introduction there, Emily. I apologise. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Thank you.
Good to have you here. So let's start with the increases. What are the reasons? Why are we seeing? I think it's a sharp increase in Eid holiday travel prices, isn't it? Why is that happening now?
Sure. So I guess at its most basic level, airlines have a dynamic pricing system. So as demand rises, fares increase automatically. We're really seeing, last-minute bargains during peak travel seasons are becoming rare these days. And we do still see outside of those peak travel windows tactical promotions coming through from the airlines. But, very much for school holidays, Eid, that summer break, booking early almost always secures better value.
I mean, the thing is, I'm reading and hearing about fares twice as much as you'd pay for a flight normally, and prices this Eid 15-20% higher than last Eid. Now, I'm reading this, whether this is true or not, you can correct me if necessary. But for example, I've read that Dubai to Osaka has spiked to 5 dirhams under 8,000 dirhams. London jumped from about 1,800 and odd to about 4,000. So how much more are residents paying compared to last month or even last year? Are those figures even in the ballpark as well, by the way?
Yeah, I think the hard thing with this is it very much depends on what you're comparing. Is this a flight at a peak time from Dubai through to Tokyo, or is it, looking at other options where it might be from Sharjah to Osaka? Do you know what I mean? Often when you're looking at these destinations, it really depends if it's apples for apples. What we find is at this time of year, destinations that are popular anyway, so we'll see the sharpest increases. So we see a lot of business from here, a lot of corporate and leisure travelling to the UK, for example. Right. So at a holiday period, of course, it's going to be even more expensive. Japan, it's peak season for Japan because it's cherry blossom season. So if you tie that, what's already a peak time in with now double down with a holiday break, of course, you're going to see a sharp increase. We're also seeing at the moment during Ramadan, places like Jeddah becoming really tough to get availability because of the Umrah traffic. So I think there's often multiple things at play here. So, Japan, as I said, with cherry blossoms, it's not only a peak season for that Japan market globally, but also because we have Eid.
Japan's sort of the it destination this year, isn't it? And I mean, it is cherry blossom season. If you can get into some of the towns, because apparently people are being banned because they're fed up with it. But I mean, it's an attractive destination. Which destinations are experiencing the steepest price jumps in your experience, and why is that happening?
So again, I would say Japan, the UK, Saudi Arabia, and anywhere. What we often see for Eid is that people are looking for those shorter breaks that are visa-free and what we call easy destinations. So you're thinking, your Azerbaijans, Georgia, Maldives, those are all, within a 3-4 hour flight time and tend to be the most affordable. We generally see during Eid, those are the destinations where you find it tougher to get a good deal.
Okay. How much is driven by demand and how much is driven by airline capacity restraints when it comes to, pricing, I guess?
Sure. I guess it isn't a secret that the global aviation industry has been under pressure in terms of delays in aircraft deliveries. Yeah. I don't work for an airline, so I can't speak on their behalf, but I think if you have a look that there are more and more residents moving into the UAE, more tourists coming in, that obviously puts pressure on flight availability. And as I said earlier, in any case with an airline, more demand always puts pressure on supply, so the price goes up.
You're kind of frontline in the travel industry, right? So you've been doing this for a while. I won't say how long.
I was about to say.
I don't know, but it's a while.
Let's not show my age. Yeah.
But you're experiencing this, and I'm interested in anything this year, things that you're seeing or maybe not seeing. Shifts in where people want to go this Eid. Is anything taking you by surprise? Anything that's cropping up? You're thinking that's new.
So in terms of trending destinations, this year we've definitely seen more people going south, so to the southern hemisphere. South Africa has been incredibly popular, and Australia as well. I think this Eid break is obviously sits in the spring break, the school holiday spring break. So a lot of people are taking the whole 2 weeks and doing a longer break rather than just that Eid, particularly the families. We've also seen a lot of interest in North Africa. Morocco is, again, easy visa and e-visa here for UAE residents, which I think helps. And Egypt has been growing in popularity, particularly since they announced the opening of the new museum, which has been quite interesting. And then North Asia, we're seeing a really big push. So China, Japan, as you said, has been really popular the last couple of years, and South Korea. We're seeing people choosing South Korea for cherry blossoms instead of Japan because of its affordability. But very much our top destinations tend to be fairly standard. Your Thailand, so like Phuket, Krabi, those beach breaks, Malaysia. We've seen some really interesting cruise bookings this year. So the Disney cruise out of Singapore, even those southern Mediterranean cruise breaks as well. So, yeah.
What about this new, is it a trend? I'm not even sure. I just saw this in the notes that producer Michael put forward for this, the Halal cruise.
Yes.
What is a Halal cruise?
So I think it's referencing the Aurora cruise, cruise out of Saudi Arabia.
I think that's right.
Yes. Obviously halal food options, right. Etc. So. Yeah, it's very, very popular.
Okay. Is that a response to high airfares, or do you think that's a shift in how people want to holiday?
I think the great thing about cruising is you've got an all-inclusive option. You've got entertainment, you've got food. You obviously you only have to unpack once. You get to see multiple destinations. We've seen cruising out of the UAE specifically to other parts of the GCC really popular. That cruise season will finish at the end of March, though, so we're looking at cruise out of Asia and Europe for the coming months.
The question, when you walked in this morning, the first thing, I think the only question I gave you was, how do I get a cheap flight? But it's the thing that we all look for.
Yes.
So let me rephrase that in a slightly more professional manner. What booking strategies would you recommend for travellers trying to save on holiday flights?
So my number one is book ahead. If you are willing to take the punt on maybe a day or two either side with the Eid break announcement, the sooner you book, the better. We actually have seen this year, I think traditionally we're a very last minute market. So the numbers we'd pulled, about 45% of our customers were booking and travelling within a month of departure.
Right.
And so that always is going to put more pressure on it. So if you can book ahead, be flexible. So if you can go a day or two either side of the main public holidays, you're going to have a much better chance of being able to get yourself a better deal. And I think also looking at non-direct flight options. We're very blessed here that we are a direct flight to pretty much almost anywhere. But we're also really close proximity to a lot of different airports. So you can drive to Abu Dhabi, to Sharjah, to Dubai, even to Ras Al Khaimah now has more international flights. If you can be flexible with your departure airport, you also can shop around. So a great example of that is in April, actually, I'm going with some girlfriends to Athens for the weekend. And we're flying out of Abu Dhabi with Etihad, and it's going to cost us approximately 1,200 dirhams per person less for flying out of Abu Dhabi than out of DXB.
1,200 dirhams less. It's a huge impact on the flight, isn't it?
So if you're up for it, and I think I said to you earlier as well, there's more and more options out of Sharjah now too. So Qatar Airways fly out of Sharjah, and when I flew to Japan last year, it was considerably cheaper. I think between 25% and 40%. Okay.
Have you warned the authorities in Athens that...
There's 12 ladies coming their way.
Is it that many?
Yes.
Interpol. So how... do you know one of the things is when it's peak time, you're very aware that the airports are going to be super busy, things are ramping up. How do travel agencies, people in your business, and how do the airlines prepare to manage demand? Because it seems like there's a week when, I don't know, you must be tearing your hair out. Demand must be through the roof a few times a year.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we're kind of used to it. We've been doing it for a long time. It isn't unusual. We see the same behaviour before most peak periods or public holidays. As a team, we make sure that we're sharing information about where we're seeing good availability, if people are still booking, particularly last minute. We work really closely with our suppliers and partners, making sure we're contracting great deals for them, but also during the actual travel period as well, making sure we've reconfirmed plans. We have pretty good communication systems between agencies and airlines and other partners, so we can make sure that we manage that as best we can. And, we just have to plan ahead accordingly. So
okay. It's not just money. There are also kind of red tape hurdles. What about things like visa processing delays? That nightmare scenario of, I haven't had the visa through, the e-visa's not come, or I haven't applied in the right way. But also school holiday timings as well. What kinds of impacts do they have on booking patterns?
Sure. So the visa piece is really interesting because, and this has been an ongoing conversation, I think, for quite a few years, the delays around getting appointments for USA visas and Schengen visas has been really tough. So we are seeing that people are planning ahead, further ahead than usual. We actually saw people, our customers we surveyed recently, booking more than 6 months in advance had doubled. Which is quite unusual, as I said earlier. So we're just seeing people having to plan ahead, making sure that they know that they're going to get that visa before they make all of the bookings that are required. There is still a couple of months delay on that. We are also seeing, particularly for Europe, actually, that more and more people are moving to the more, the shoulder season. So instead of trying to travel during summer or over that winter Christmas period, that these spring breaks and autumn breaks are becoming more popular for those European holidays. One other interesting statistic around that as well is that we have seen more customers saying that they're choosing to travel once per year on a much longer, bigger holiday than multiple small trips. And I do think that comes from looking at the visa piece, but also the cost of an airfare, because if you're doing one longer trip, then obviously you're only paying for that airfare once.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. There's another aspect, I guess, geopolitically. There are some tensions regionally at the moment. Do you think there's any hesitation from travellers with that, in the back of their mind? Or do you think that, if you've got the travel bug, you've got the travel bug?
That's a really interesting question. I feel like from here, a lot of us are probably a little bit more hardy with stuff like that we seem to just travel regardless. I guess you're also looking at a population of quite a significant percentage of the population that aren't from the UAE that want to travel home as well. So I think there's always reasons for people to travel. Sometimes it's positive reasons, maybe going for a wedding or something, and other times because you have to. But we have not currently, in terms of the leisure travel for Eid and spring break, we have not seen a softening of demand this year. So, I do think it's possibly impacting more people coming in than it would be going out, but we haven't seen an impact as yet.
Okay. Last minute deals. Is that a thing of the past? Has that ship sailed, as it were? Plane, flown? That's not a thing, is it, I suppose?
We're definitely still seeing tactical or last minute deals, just not generally for an Eid break or a peak public holiday. But as I said earlier, if you can be flexible with routes, if you can be flexible with departure dates, or even look at maybe less popular destinations or something that's a little bit more off the beaten track, then you still have opportunity to get yourself a good deal. There's also, as we said earlier, you could look at going on a cruise. out of Dubai. I mean, you could go on a road trip. There are other options, right, to save some money. I'm actually going on a road trip to Oman for Eid, so
You do a lot of travelling.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I love what I do.
Fair play.
Well, I mean, it's hard to be involved in looking at all of these destinations on a daily basis and not want to go, right?
It's a responsibility. It's research.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, I bet you.
Exactly.
So this Eid, is there something that comes to mind straight away? If I said to you a best value destination, what would be the first place that pops in your head?
That's an interesting question. We're actually still seeing some good availability to a lot of the popular places like the Maldives or Baku, Thailand. I would think Istanbul would be a great option. It's a short flight. We've got a lot of airlift going in there. The other destination this year that we've seen a big increase in flights to is Germany. You now have direct flights with the likes of Eurowings, Condor. If you're at the other end, you want a premium carrier, you've got Beyond, which is an all business class airline. But we're really seeing, Air Arabia are now flying there into Munich. So we are seeing, when a destination is very popular, that there is a big increase in airlift between those countries, and that obviously always helps as well.
I didn't expect Germany there for some reason. Not that I've got anything against Germany. I'd be interested in going, but that it feels like it came out of the blue a little bit.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we see it. Germany's generally in our top 3 destinations from here into Europe.
Wow. Okay. So I've learned something. What about if you're a business traveller or you're a last-minute planner, and that's really me, I have to admit, and, you have to face higher costs, what advice would you give people, aside from booking earlier and grow up?
I guess it's a tough one, right? Because at the end of the day, if a plane is full, there's not much that we can do about that, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where you just have to get creative and see what your options are. Like I said before, we are really lucky that we are in driving distance to 3 or 4 airports. Look at different dates. Maybe don't necessarily go on those Eid dates. I think we often get asked this question as though there's a secret recipe of, book on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. and you'll get the best deal.
That's nonsense, is it?
I mean, you can try and time it, but I don't think it's going to necessarily help you. So, and especially from a region here where we are, big travellers, we love to travel. There's lots of people moving around. As I said earlier, lots of people flying home. But yeah, I think try and discover somewhere new.
Can I ask you something about that? I've always wondered about this. You hear the stories of airlines booking and overbooking, and people being bumped off on occasion, things like that. What's the story behind that? This has nothing to do with this conversation. It's just that you mentioned something there. I just wonder how that works.
Sure. I'll caveat this by saying I don't work for an airline. So,
no.
Just, but in terms of, I guess if you have a look at the data around the number of people that would book and cancel a flight or would not turn up to a flight or no show, I guess the airlines would run their numbers on that to know that there is a chance that there would be a certain percentage of people that don't come. So rather than sending a plane out with empty seats, there would be times when they would overbook it in order to be able to deal with that.
So they'd say, right, there's 5% of people don't turn up or they're late or whatever else. So we could sell those seats based on that. There's a reasonable way to do it. Is that?
I would say that's from what I know of the process. Like that's how it would work. And I think there are rules around this in terms of if you have purchased a ticket, you need to be accommodated. If they cannot accommodate you on that particular flight, they need to give you options, and it could be another carrier, it could be the next day. There is rules and regulations that govern that to make sure that you are protected.
Okay, and it would be, I don't know, if you're inconvenienced, it's the booking of a hotel room or something like that around that as well. Yeah. That's the standard. Okay. It's interesting. Emily Jenkins is the head of product and digital solutions at DW Travel, talking all sorts of demand around Eid questions this morning, what the airfares are like, and I appreciate talking to you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here. Just a reminder of a couple of podcasts that we have launched here at Mirror Business FM as well, diving into the fine print. Every Tuesday, our resident legal expert, Raymond Kiswani, is a partner at Davidson & Co. He's here trying to help demystify the legal landscape of the UAE. Complex employment matters, commercial disputes, to staying ahead of the latest regulatory updates, discussions on the laws that impact your life and your business. So join us Tuesdays, and then wherever you get your podcasts from on your favourite podcast platform as well.